right, good evening, everyone. This is Corey here with Zero Meter Chasers. It is 7:04 Central Time, 8:04 Eastern Time. Make sure I get the time right tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Before we get started, I want to make sure that my mic, everybody can hear me correctly. I seen some comments yesterday after the live session was over. There was a couple people that had mentioned that the mic volume had went down after the intro went away. I want to make sure that I've got that fixed. And then if you guys please don't, if you don't care, share this video. The number one goal here at Zero Meter Chasers is to keep everybody informed with all the latest information. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. So if you guys don't care to help me out, give this video a share. That way all your friends and family can get all the latest information. So thank you guys. I'm reading your comments now. Mic looks good. So I noticed that my microphone was turned down just a little bit, and that will definitely affect the level of volume that comes through this thing. So anyways, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. This is night 4 of our live updates for our impending winter storm that's going to move across the region on Saturday into Sunday, and we've got a lot to talk about again tonight. Before we get started, or I guess I should say to start the video off, the National Weather Service has pretty much issued a winter storm warning for the entire state. The only exception is the northeastern portion of the state, Covington to Maysville to Ashland. They will be included in this warning before it's all said and done, but they haven't pulled the trigger just yet. Storm will be a little bit later getting there, so I kind of understand waiting just a little bit. But they'll be included before it's all said and done. But other than that, the rest of the state is included in that winter storm warning, and this goes into effect Saturday morning, expires Monday morning. Widespread heavy snowfall and ice is expected. Our confidence has increased. We'll go over all that latest information here in just a second. And for the 4th night in a row, I still have my little notepad here that's going to keep me on track for everything that I need to talk about so I don't miss anything. So here is kind of the impacts that we're expected to see. We're expected to see large snow and ice accumulations. And unfortunately, the ice forecast has increased as well. You guys have heard me talk about that this week as well. We'll dig into that data here in just a second. But we are expected to see major impacts to roadways, utilities, and just day-to-day, everyday life. Power outages and impassable roads are likely, unfortunately. Significant snowfall expected across much of the state. Higher totals will be towards the north. Again, we'll get into all that information here in just a second. Freezing rain expected in southern Kentucky along with snowfall. Again, we'll get all that information here in just a second. Southern part of the state, up to a ½ inch of ice possible. And the big deal that's coming along with this winter storm is near 0-degree temperatures and dangerous wind chills towards the start of next week. So that's an extreme hazard if anyone loses power during this winter storm. The cold weather Monday and Tuesday is going to be a big deal, and that honestly could be life-threatening situations in some locations if power is out. So this is going to be a big deal, a big-time winter storm, possibly even historic winter storm here in the region. So we're going to jump right into the model data. The reason I'm going to jump right into the model data is because I want you guys to kind of see what the models are showing. And then after all, you guys have seen everything, we're going to jump into the amounts, when it's going to start. And a lot of these graphics are from the National Weather Service. We basically just use their information, and we're going to relay that information to you guys. But I want you guys to see the model data kind of in real terms. So I know you guys are probably still seeing 1,000 maps on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever social media platform you may have. There's 1,000 sources that's been just blasting snow maps left and right, and I'm sure you guys are fatigued of seeing all the different maps, and it's gotten even worse today with all the TV outlets issuing their snowfall forecast. So a lot of different opinions. There's nothing wrong with that, and really nobody knows how it's going to play out till it gets here. So let's go ahead and jump into the model data. The Euro is what I'm going to show you guys first. Traditionally, the Euro is typically one of the more accurate models. So I kind of want to show you guys a simulation. This is going to be a simulation here of kind of what the European model thinks, how the system will unfold based off the European model. Okay, so snowfall sometime Saturday morning. The Euro says around 9 a.m. is when this snowfall starts to creep into south central Kentucky, and then that snowfall expands as we progress throughout the day before we get into the 3 o'clock p.m. time frame. It's overspread pretty much the entire state. We get into later Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. The warmer air starts to make its way to the north. You see down here in Tennessee, this pink, that's freezing rain right here along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. That purple is sleet. That is that warm air making its way to the north. We get into Saturday night. That warmer air makes it a little bit further to the north. That sleet line is basically right along the Cumberland Parkways from Bowling Green to Somerset. And then south of that is all freezing rain. We get into early Sunday morning, right around the midnight hour. You still see that warm air creep into the north. That freezing rain line is now right along the Cumberland Parkway from Bowling Green to Somerset. North of that, you get a mix of sleet, probably a sleet and snow mix, or maybe just plain sleet. North of that is all snow. And then you get into 3 a.m. Sunday morning. The southern 2/3 of Kentucky has transitioned over to plain freezing rain. Again, anytime you get ice, it's not going to be pretty. I'm not sure if this scenario plays out, but I'm kind of showing you guys what the European model is showing. We get into 6 a.m. That colder air starts to fight back a little bit. So you see that freezing rain line drop. This is going to be right along the Western Kentucky and Bluegrass Parkways. That's going to be from Litchfield to Elizabethtown to Bardstown to Lexington. That is where the Western Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways is located. But along those parkways in north, all snow. Along those parkways in south, sleet, freezing rain. And that's kind of what it stays going into the 9 o'clock hour on Sunday. Now, 12 o'clock on Sunday, this is kind of where we have some disagreements. The European model is showing just a plain rain across southeastern Kentucky and even parts of central Kentucky. I don't see that happening. I don't see us getting warm enough. We're going to have snow on the ground. We're going to have ice on the ground. I don't see us getting warm enough to go over to just a plain rain. So I think this is where there's still some model disagreements. There's still some, some voids in the model data that still need to be resolved as we get just a little bit closer. As you can see, we get into 3 o'clock p.m. Sunday afternoon. We finally get cold enough to go back to plain snow. Again, there's still some voids in the model data that need to be resolved. There's some drier air on the backside of this on the European model, not really showing a lot of snow. And then it's all out of here by Sunday around 6 p.m. European model for snowfall, it's going to be a sharp cutoff. And I mean, you're looking at it here just for Greene County. It's showing the southern part of Greene County getting 3 inches and the northern part of Greene County getting as much as 6 or 7 inches. So that's a large spread. Pretty much right along that West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkway and to the north is where you get your big time snow. So like your Elizabethtown, Lexington, Louisville checking in at 16.8 inches. Southern Indiana cashing in on big snow. And it's just the European model. I'm going to show some others. So I know everybody's wanting a big snow. This is the negative effect of the European model showing lesser snowfall amounts. This is the ice amounts. 3/4 of an inch in Bowling Green. I don't think this happens. I don't think this verifies. Again, I'm just kind of showing you guys what the European model is showing. But basically a 1/2 inch of ice just south of the Western Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways. And this would be Bowling Green, the Greene-Taylor County surrounding area. So if the European is correct, you would get probably 4 to 6 inches of snow, 4 to 7 inches of snow, and then a 1/2 inch of ice. That is a dangerous setup regardless of how you look at it. I mean, just think about it in general. 4 to 6 inches of snow is a really good snowfall for us here in Kentucky. I mean, we don't typically get big snows like that. And really 4 to 6 inches isn't a big snow, but in one storm, it's a good snowfall. So you're getting a good snowfall and then a dangerous ice storm set up on top of that. That is not good. That's not what we want to see. Things can still change, but again, this is not a good setup to look at. And I'm reading the comments. No, not everybody wants a big snow. In this situation, you'd rather, I think a lot of people would agree with this. I think we'll take a big snow over any type of ice storm setup. That's just kind of my opinion. And ice storm, that's when you lose your power. You really can't do any traveling on ice. You're much better off getting a bigger snowfall versus getting 3 to 6 inches and then the ice, half inch of ice on top of that. So that's what the European model is showing. We'll look at the Canadian model next. I'm not going to go through the simulation. I don't want to bog up a lot of you guys' time. Just kind of want to run through the data here. The Canadian model, it's a little bit further south with the snowfall extent, but about the same thing. You're looking at probably 4 to 7 inches across much of central Kentucky. And then you get up here, same scenario right along the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways. And to the north, you get into the, closer to a foot of snowfall. Here is the ice amounts for that, way less. We're looking at closer to a 1/4 inch. That's a lot more manageable than a 1/2 inch plus. So the Canadian is higher on snowfall totals and lower on ice amounts. So where the Euro was opposite. And then you get into the GFS, and the GFS shows a big snowstorm. It's been showing this for 24 hours now. 4 straight runs of just pure insanity from the GFS model. Again, I don't think this happens either. I'm just showing you guys the data. I don't think there's any scenario where, Kentucky gets 20 inches. But the fact that the GFS is showing a much colder solution is something to watch. Here's the GFS with the ice. I guess I should zoom in on the GFS here. Do a little local. There's the GFS, the local zoom in on that. Again, I don't think the GFS verifies, but, again, it's data that we need to look at. It definitely shows that colder solution. GFS ice, again, with it being colder, and showing the much higher snowfall amounts, the ice amounts are going to be much lower as well. So pretty much nothing until you get down here into the Lake Cumberland area, just south of Somerset over to Pikeville, 1/4 inch there. So here's the blend of everything together. This is everything together. This is kind of what the National Weather Service is basing their forecast off of, and this is the newest information, I believe it is. So basically from the Cumberland Parkways into the north is showing a good 8 inches of snow. The counties right there along the Kentucky, Tennessee state line is where you kind of get in your, say, 3 to 5 inch range, 2 to 4 inch range. But pretty much everything north of the Cumberland Parkways, you're looking at 8+ inches on the blend. This I don't know the exact scientific explanation behind the National Weather Service blend of models. I don't know what's all included, but I'm taking the assumption here that it's a lot of the good, reliable models that we look at, that we all just got done looking at, and it's all put together, averaged together, and this is kind of what you get. So again, good snowfall for much of the state. Your higher snowfall totals is going to be closer to the Ohio River, down to the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways. It's probably the best chance where you're going to see maybe a foot plus, especially over here in the Bluegrass region. And then the ice amounts, thankfully, is not very high on the blend. We're up to 0.2 inches down here in south central Kentucky, or just under 0.2 inches. But for the rest of the state, not really anything significant. So that is some good news. We can handle, any ice is not good, but we can handle 0.2 inches. But that's primarily right around the Cumberland Parkways and to the south. So I know we referenced the Parkways, but the Cumberland Parkway is roughly from Bowling Green to Somerset right here on the map. And the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways is this blue line right here. West Kentucky Parkways runs from E-Town to Litchfield down to Paducah. And then the Bluegrass Parkways runs from Elizabethtown up to Lexington. So those are, for some reason, when we deal with weather here in Kentucky, those two parkways is always a reference point when it comes to boundaries. I don't know. We might need to do a case study on the parkways and figure out why those are always a boundary that we reference a whole lot here in Kentucky. So that's kind of all the model data that I'm going to show you guys. There's a lot more we can look at, but I don't, like I said, we're not going to do a full breakdown of all the information that we have. So let's break down the snow amounts. This is from the National Weather Service. Now, our official forecast map from the Zero Meter Chaser team will be out later on tonight. We wanted to wait just a little bit longer and see a little bit more of this model data. But I'm sure it will be close to what the National Weather Service is forecasting right here. And this what you're seeing here from the National Weather Service, they put out around 4 o'clock. So this was about 2-3 hours ago. So basically, the highest chance for snowfall activity is going to be up here in the Bluegrass region, your Lexington, your Frankfort, your Louisville areas. That's where you're really going to have the potential. Even Bardstown, northern part of Hardin County, Nelson, Washington, Springfield is going to be included with that. This is where you're going to have the best potential to see that 12 to 15 plus inches. And yes, that is a plus you see there, because there is a great possibility that somebody is really going to exceed 15 plus inches somewhere in the state. This is probably going to be the jackpot, depending on how the models evolve over the next 24 hours. You know, there's still some shifting, and there will be some shifting before this storm gets here, before it's all said and done. That's going to be your best potential for the snow jackpot. But pretty much the entire state's forecasted in an 8 to 12. Now, I think that's probably just a little bit high personally here in the Greene-Taylor County area. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that warmer air. So I think 6 to 8 is probably a little bit more realistic, which is what the National Weather Service has listed just south of that. But we'll see. We'll see what the data says tonight, and again, we'll get that official forecast out for you guys. But this is the National Weather Service official forecast here, and like I said, a good snowfall for much of Kentucky. 8 to 12 for 2/3 of the state. 6 to 8 inches from Bowling Green to Glasgow to Edmonton to Columbia, all the way over to Jackson, and then the southeastern part of the state. That's where they're going to see a little bit more of that ice. So your Lake Cumberland area, Russell Springs, London, Harlan, Pikeville, you're going to get lesser amounts of snowfall in those areas because you're going to see more ice. So 3 to 4 inches, maybe even less than that. You might even be in a 2 to 3 inch range before it's all said and done in that particular area. Here is the ice accumulation forecast. Again, you kind of see the teeter-totter here. You see the big snowfall totals in the northern part of the state and the smaller snowfall in the southern part of the state. And that's because the ice is really going to eat into those amounts. The ice is greater in the southeastern part of the state, lesser in the northern part of the state. So that's your teeter-totter effect. And that is what is going to drive your snowfall and ice amounts. How much warm air comes up from the south. If we get more warm air, you're going to see more ice and less snow. If you get less warm air, say that colder air really fights back, you're going to get more snow and less ice. It's going to be a battle zone. That's what we're going to be dealing with here in Kentucky. It's a battle zone between the warm and cold air. And if the colder air wins, you're going to see more snow. If the warmer air wins, you're going to see more ice. And that's at your particular location. So that's what makes forecasting winter events here in Kentucky so difficult, is because it's basically a battleground between the warm and cold air. But this is the icing amounts. Again, right around the Cumberland Parkways from Bowling Green over to Somerset, your London, your Harlan. This is where you're going to get a 1/4 up to a 1/2 inch of ice. This is going to be a pretty good ice storm for this neck of the woods. Hopefully we don't exceed anything over a 1/2 inch. Now, 1/2 inch of ice is going to be a crippling ice storm for this area. Hopefully we don't go over that. If we go anything over 1/2 an inch, it's going to be absolutely devastating. But I think a 1/4 inch of ice is a good bet. You go up to the north just a little bit more, and that's going to be basically from Bowling Green over to Hart County, Greene, Taylor, Casey, even up to Danville. You could see up to a 1/4 inch of ice in that particular area. The National Weather Service has circled here this white dotted line you see here, this white dotted circle. It says greatest uncertainty within this line, and that is exactly what I was just telling everyone. Is we don't know how far north that warm air is going to come. If that warm air comes even farther north, then this area is going to see more ice, and that's why they've circled this area here. And the ice amounts would go higher down here in the southeastern Kentucky. So if that warm air really comes up, then we could no doubt see a half inch of ice, maybe even something higher, something close to what the Euro was showing. If we go back to the European model on the ice, let me pull that up here real quick. If we do see more warmer air like the European is showing, that's what you're going to see. Our icing amounts are going to go up, and that's why the National Weather Service has circled that area right there, because basically up to the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, which is half of this circle, would be included in getting potentially up to a quarter inch, and even up to a half inch of ice if that warmer air comes more north. Again, we don't think that's going to happen right now, but still not out of the question. So, a lot of people talking about start times. Again, all these maps that you're seeing are from the National Weather Service. They have a slideshow up, and they do great work. So we're just using their slides. We're trying to be good ambassadors of the National Weather Service here because they do great work. We respect them greatly. We want to be partnerships with them. That way, we're all on the same page when it comes to relaying public information. So these are the start times from the National Weather Service, pretty much all of Central Kentucky, 7 to 11. Now, I know I said 7 to 2 earlier. Based on all the data we've seen during the afternoon update, I definitely agree with what the National Weather Service is saying. I think everybody is seeing snow by noon on Saturday. So 7 to 11, all these times are Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 11 a.m. for much of the state. Now, from E-Town to Richmond, be a little bit later, basically from E-Town to Richmond to Jackson, just north of E-Town, I should say. North of E-Town to Richmond to Jackson, your Louisville, Frankfort, Lexington, Maysville areas, you're going to be 11 to 5. It's going to take a little bit longer for that precipitation to reach the northern part of the state there, the Bluegrass region, but it will eventually get there. The southwestern part of the state, your Paducah, Hopkinsville area, that you'll be getting in on the action first, 5 to 8 a.m. And so this is Saturday. I've seen a lot of people ask me, what time? And that gives you guys a great explanation of what time the snow is expected to start. Now, when is it going to end? That is something we haven't talked a lot about. This is on Sunday. So when it starts on Saturday, this storm's going to last all the way until Sunday evening, right around daybreak. Or I guess I should say sunset. Sorry. Sunset on Sunday. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, pretty much across west of I-65. It's going to end between 7 and 9. We get east of I-65, 8 p.m. to midnight. So we could see this storm last all the way to midnight on Monday morning. So the storm is going to last 36 hours. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. So I don't think a lot of people realize how long this storm is going to last. This isn't going to be something that lasts about 5 or 6 hours or even 12 and it's over. It's going to be a 36-hour storm. So we're going to get wave after wave after wave of wintry precipitation. So those 36 hours, we're going to be active here in the Weather Center. As long as we keep power, we're going to be giving you guys updates about every 2 hours, maybe even on the hour. We're going to be posting your pictures on here. We're going to have storm chasers in the field. We're going to have up to the date, the latest information, the latest radar feeds. We're going to be reporting information. If there's any wrecks, how traffic looks here. We're going to be all systems go when this winter storm gets here, okay? So preparedness, again, I shared this yesterday. Supplies, you just want to make sure you have water, and typically, rule of thumb is you need 1 gallon of water per person per day. I was in the stores today. I seen a lot of people just buying that water up. So that was definitely some good news to see that. For your home, make sure you insulate your pipes, your windows, test your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Make sure you're using safe heating. Never use generators inside your vehicle. Again, I know people's going to have to travel. There's essential workers. So let's make sure that you have a full gas tank. Make sure you have your winter kit, which is your blankets, your shovel, your traction aid, such as, I know it sounds crazy, cat litter. You throw some cat litter under your tires, that's going to give you some traction. A charger, make sure you keep your phone charged, and snacks. Before and during the storm, you want to make sure that you charge all your devices. Make sure that, understand that there's a decent chance for some power outages. So you want to make sure that you charge all your devices. Plan for power outages. Stay informed. Avoid travel if you can. Dress in layers. Check on vulnerable people. So the number one thing I want everybody to do is make sure we're checking on our neighbors, make sure we're checking on our elderly, make sure they are prepared and ready to go. I seen somebody say yesterday, and I 100% agree, there's some people that really can't prepare for the storm. There's some people that don't have the extra funds to buy extra groceries. There's some people that doesn't have backup heat, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. Everybody's doing the best they can. But let's make sure we're doing our best as good people, good citizens, and let's check on those people. And if you see somebody that's struggling, or you know somebody that's struggling, let's help them out. If you guys are watching me right now and you're one of those people and you think you need some help to get through this winter storm, send me a personal message. I'll make sure that if it's me doing it personally, I'll make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure you are prepared for this winter storm, whatever it may be. So if there's something you're worried about, don't be embarrassed. If you really need help with something, send me a message. I'll make sure that it's taken care of 100%. We want everybody to be prepared for this winter storm. We don't want anybody to have anxiety about this winter storm. We don't want anybody to worry about it. Number one thing here at Zero Meter Chasers is we want everybody to be prepared for what is coming, whether it be worst case scenario. My thing is, let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I hope something like the ice. I hope we don't get the ice that some of these models are predicting. I would rather have the snow. But regardless of how you look at it, this is going to be a big winter storm, and I want everybody to be prepared for it. I'm not trying to scare anybody by no means. We just want you prepared, even if that means me helping you out or somebody here in the community. We've got a lot of people watching tonight. I know there's 1,000 people plus on my Facebook account, but we're streaming across 5 different platforms. There's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of people here in this community, this weather community that we've created here, that will be more than willing to help you guys out if you need it. So that's my TED Talk. That's my preacher moment for tonight. But that's the thing. We all care about each other. We're just not a team that wants to blast forecast out and be popular and be some type of celebrities or anything like that. We care less about that. We want everybody prepared and we want everybody safe. Number one goal. And that's what we've built this community on. That's how I've built this community. And that's how I will continue to build this community until they put me 6 feet in the ground. So you guys are first, always will be. We care about you way more than anything else. So now that I've done with my TED Talk, I'm gonna pull the winter storm warning back up. Actually, let's do this. We'll pull up the key messages here. Or better yet, let's just pull up the snow amounts, because that way everybody can kind of see what the National Weather Service is showing as far as snowfall amounts. And I'm going to look through the chat here again. I'm not going to spend a lot of time answering a lot of questions. I will spend about 15 minutes here. Let me reposition myself. I'm short, so I have to sit on my feet sometimes. I'm going to answer a few questions. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And I'm going to spend about 15 minutes here answering some questions. And then same thing for tonight. If you guys have been watching, or I guess I should say listening, our Zero Meter Chaser team is going to do another Twitter Space conference call tonight on Twitter. See what time. Give me just a second here. I know I seen it just a second ago. I think it's, just give me a second. I'm getting distracted. I've got 1,000 messages on my phone, And let's see here. Maybe. Here we go. All right. 10 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know why it was so hard for me to find. 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Central on Twitter. I'll post the link on my Facebook page. Basically, Twitter Spaces. If you guys don't know what it is, basically what the Twitter Space is it's a public conference call. It's the best way I can explain it. We have myself, Chris, Mike, Heather, Grayson. We get in, we kind of discuss the different, all of our different opinions on all the latest information. And tonight, I don't know if we're going to do it live on the Spaces, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about our snowfall accumulation forecast and our ice accumulation forecast. So that's something that's going to be discussed tonight. We typically talk for about an hour. We discuss different things. We've got live data rolling in, so you actually hear us discussing the data as it's rolling in. Everybody can listen. And then towards the end, say about 30 minutes in, we actually open it up to questions for the public to ask. So you guys can hop in. It's a great community environment. We hop in. You guys hop in. You can, ask questions in the chat, or you can ask to speak yourself, and you can actually talk, communicate with us, cut up. It's very, very laid back. We do a lot of cutting up. We do a lot of joking, but at the same time, we actually are looking at what's going on. So please feel free. It's a great, great thing for you guys. I'd love for you guys to join in. 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Again, I'll post the link right here in Facebook, or on Facebook. So let me look through the comments here. That's what I was doing before I got on a rant. Thunder snow, Billy. Yes, thunder snow, thunder sleet, thunder freezing rain is a possibility with this storm. I'm sure that's something that we will talk about tonight on Twitter Spaces. Melissa, so here's the timing. Start time. This is going to be 7 to 11 a.m. Saturday morning. 7 to 11 a.m. Saturday morning is when this will start. Jesse, yes. Please, 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 please. Anybody that has pets outside, if you can bring them inside during the storm, please. That's going to be a big thing for any pets outside. It's going to get really cold, a lot of snow. If you can bring them inside, please do so. Thank you, Jesse, for pointing that out. Nicholas, is this storm going to be snowing in waves, or is it going to be a nonstop snow? So there's going to be 2 waves, but the lull in between the 2 waves is not going to be very long. That's something we need to talk about tonight. And let's just go ahead and pull it up on the models here. Let's pull that back up. I kind of do want to look at that. So here's your first wave moving in. This is where we're going to get a lot of our snowfall here in central Kentucky. The European has it all as one snowfall. Which model was showing? I'm trying to think. There was another model that was really struggling with it. I think it was the NAM model. Maybe. Let me look here. Let me do some looking. So that's what it is. Okay, so let me. It is the NAM model. Let me zoom in here just a little bit more so you guys. Well, it says I have to log in. I'm already logged in. Appreciate that. You guys gotta love technology sometimes. Give me just a second. What are we doing here? Finally. Golly. All right. So the NAM model, it was showing basically 2 different waves. It's basically showing the first wave coming in. and our first wave basically lasting until Saturday evening. And then we have a little bit of a lull in activity. Saturday evening for about 6 hours, and then the next wave comes in Saturday at 3 a.m. And that's where you're going to get a lot of your freezing rain here in central Kentucky. And the NAM model shows rain. The NAM model just does not look good right now, so that's primarily why I didn't show it. But it is showing 2 waves. But if you look at the European model, it has those 2 waves, but it has them more closer together. So if you just look at the forecast loop from the European model, it basically snows. You got wintry precipitation nonstop until it ends on the Euro. So again, that's something else that we're going to be watching too. Is it a consistent storm, or do we actually see a little bit of a break? Thank you, Nicholas, for that question. And appreciate everybody's compliments. I'm reading all y'all's compliments. I definitely appreciate that. If you guys have a question, put them back in the chat. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up. I don't know how many comments I have, but I'll be scrolling all night. So if you have any new questions, put them at the bottom of the chat. What you guys are looking at is the forecasted snowfall amounts from the National Weather Service. Christopher. I knew somebody was going to ask me that question. Are we looking at another storm by next weekend? Maybe. We're not going to talk about that yet. Sharon, great question. Great question, Sharon. Will it start as ice or snow first? We're going to start out as snow. And we'll just go ahead and pull up the simulation one more time. This is the European simulation I'm going to show you guys. And we're going to start out as snow with the first wave coming in. In the simulated radar, this is similar, very similar, if not identical, to some of the future casts that you're going to see on the television networks when you watch the weather tonight, or whenever you watch them, if you do watch them. Simulated radar, we start out as snow. Everybody in Kentucky starts out as snow Saturday morning. This lasts all the way until Saturday night. This is 6 o'clock. This is where we'll start to change over in places. We'll change over to some sleet in southern Kentucky first, and then over to some freezing rain, more than likely, depending on how fast that warm air comes up. Much of the state changes over to sleet, freezing rain, and then we'll slowly transition back over to snow. So we're going to go snow to sleet, probably to some freezing rain in places, and then back over to snow. Some places will stay all snow. Some places will just change over to sleet. It really just depends on how far that warm air moves to the north. Nicholas, yes, there will be areas of some wet, heavy snowfall for sure, especially on Sunday. Zach, yes, I don't. Anybody that's clowning on me, I have no issues. There's a couple fan favorites that do it, and I have no issues with it. It lightens the mood. Again, the community that I've built, that we've built here, we want it to be laid back, informative, and laid back. And a couple people that do jump in and have fun and clown is Matt and Ariel, and I think they're hilarious. So they do a great job of cutting up and just give me the business, and that's fine. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate the compliment. Let's look here. Haley, you said, I know this is kind of out of the area here, but I will look for you real fast. Kingsport, Tennessee, by the Virginia line. Yeah, hang on just a second here. Give me a second, Haley. Pull it up here. It's by the Virginia line. From the National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, looks like snow and sleet accumulations up to 3 inches and ice accumulations between a quarter to a half inch possible. So that's going to be a pretty good ice storm there for you, Haley. Not much on the snow side, but the ice side is going to be pretty hazardous. And that's going to be Saturday morning through Sunday evening. Josh, I'm not trying to be popular. I'm just relaying weather information. Aaron, no, that's what I'm saying on the models there, Aaron. I don't think it's some of the models showing things changing over just to a plain rain, and none of us here at the ZMC team thinks that it's going to get warm enough to actually change over to a plain rain. And something else that you have to keep in mind is we're going to start out as snow. We're going to have possibly anywhere between 4 to 6 inches on the southern part of the state here. That should make things colder than what the models are showing. So that's something that we're definitely going to talk about tonight in our ZMC discussion. That's something that we need to consider for sure, because when you get that snowpack, I don't think the models really take that into effect. They could to some extent, but with a good snowpack in place, normally those temperatures are a little bit colder than what the models are showing. I think that's going to play into at least somewhere in Kentucky. I think that's going to play into keeping it colder than what the models are showing. But I definitely don't think we go over to plain rain. I just don't. I don't think there's any scenario where that happens. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think if anything changes over to rain, it's probably going to be down in Tennessee, and I don't even know if that happens. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate the compliment. Anybody asking for snow amounts? I literally have the map up here. You just got to know what your county looks like. If you don't know what your county looks like, please. It's very important. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody by no means, but it's very important you know what your county looks like, especially in situations like this. Do a quick Google, whatever county you live in, just type in, Greene County, Kentucky. It'll show up. You'll see where you're at. Find yourself on the map. These are the updated accumulation forecasts from the National Weather Service. Thank you, Stacy. Misty, I did see your comment earlier. You wanted to know what the temp is for tomorrow. Let me get that for you here real quick. I just want to make sure I'm right. High temperature for tomorrow is going to be right around freezing. There's a chance we go above freezing just a little bit. But once we go below freezing on Friday, our low temperature Friday night is going to be in the lower teens. Our high temperature on Saturday is 23 degrees. Our low temperature Saturday night is in the teens. Our high temperature on Sunday is in the 20s. So again, that's something else that in a typical setup here in Kentucky, we typically are waiting for that cold air to come down from the north. Cold air is already here. So when this starts, the ground's below freezing. It's going to accumulate right off the get-go. There's not going to be any lag time of, hey, we got to wait for the ground temperatures to go below freezing. We got to wait for the cold air to get here. It's already here. The ground's already going to be below freezing. It's going to accumulate right off the get. Amanda, how many days after it's over do I think the travel will impact it? It really just depends on how much you get. I mean, especially up here in the north, you get this 12 to 15 inches. I mean, you're going to have trouble, especially on your secondary roadways, for several days. It's going to take time to get those secondary roadways plowed. It's going to get colder. Rock salt's not going to be as effective. There's a chance that we get cold enough in some places that rock salt's not effective at all. But 12 to 15 is a lot different than, say, 2 to 4. 2 to 4 inches, you'll be able to get that cleared out a little bit quicker. Secondary roadways are going to be slick regardless, no matter what. But it really just depends on how much snow we get, how much ice we get. Regardless, it's going to stick around. So, I mean, for sure, by the time we end precipitation on Sunday, I would say at least Monday and Tuesday travel is going to be dicey regardless. I think main roads will probably be okay by Monday. But side roads, I mean, you're looking at least a couple days. I'm not an expert in roadway conditions. I will say that. It's just my opinion on that. I think Monday and Tuesday is going to be dicey, probably improving by Wednesday. But do we get additional snowfall midweek? Do we get additional snowfall in the next week? Don't know. That is both our possibility. A couple there, I did see a little bit of the data showing like a very, very small light snow midweek. But again, we're not worried about any of that right now. We got to get through this storm first. Yeah, any snow that falls on the ground will be here all week. It's not going to melt off. So I'm looking at the temperatures now, all the way through Thursday. We're not going above freezing through Thursday. Even Thursday's below freezing. The best chance is Wednesday. Right now, high 31. So you might get some melting on Wednesday, but the low is Wednesday night. So anything that melts on Wednesday is going to refreeze Wednesday night. So it's going to be a big deal. I don't know what the government will do, Jessica, on the emergency shutdown. I know Tennessee issued a state of emergency earlier today. Excuse me. I do think that if we get, anywhere close to what we're forecasting for snow, I do think there will probably be a state of emergency issued, but I'm just not sure. Josh, yeah, Hodgenville UMC has already canceled Sunday services. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of services canceled on Sunday. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate you, my man. Montreal, I see you, my man. Thanks, Montreal. I appreciate you, Coach. I'll say this about Montreal too. The basketball game on Tuesday, he looked at one of our players and he told him, "You're built for this." And I'm not gonna lie, I was last night. I was struggling. Maybe it was this morning. I was struggling. So I really haven't had a lot of sleep all week. I'm getting older. I'm running off adrenaline right now. And I was like, man, I just don't know if I've got it like I used to. And Montreal's not even my coach, but I remember what he told one of our players, that you're built for this. And I had to tell myself, I'm built for this. This is what we're here for. So even though Montreal's not coaching me, he's still coaching. There's people that hear that, and including myself. So there's you a good little story trail. I don't even know if you're still watching. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate that. Appreciate your compliment there. I'm glad you're in the community here. Definitely glad to have you. I hear you, Cindy. Got the new roundabout in Greensburg. There's going to be this is going to be the first big snow with the new roundabout here in Greensburg. Can only imagine how many people's going to be Tokyo drifting around the circle with the snow. Blake, what I'm looking at right now, this is a National Weather Service here. It's National Weather Service graph, but the website I'm using for the model data is Pivotal Weather. Pivotal Weather, sorry. Again, guys, I'm seeing 1,000 people asking how much snow we're expected. The map is literally on the screen. All you guys got to do is look at the map. This is a good idea of what to expect. This is going to change as we get a little bit closer, but this is the forecasted snowfall amounts through Monday. Sammy, the forecast is going to be out tonight. Me and the team is going to get together, and we're actually going to come up with a forecast that we think's logical. I switched it up tonight, by the way. We got a little Mountain Dew. Somebody told me that having multiple skis in one day is not good for you. I'm sure another soft drink's not either, but I feel like ski has just more caffeine than a normal soft drink. I mean, what do you? I haven't looked at the actual uh, nutrition facts, but that's just how I feel in my mind. I feel like ski has way more caffeine and way more sugar in it than other soft drinks. I could be wrong. That's what I have in my mind. Lisa, heavy snow and then ice will make it work right. I personally think ice under the snow's worse. It's just kind of my opinion. I really haven't been in a lot of setups where we have snow on the ground and then transition to freezing rain. I could probably count them on one hand. It doesn't happen very often. So I personally think a worst case scenario would be freezing rain first and then it snows on top of it, because then you don't see the layer of ice under the snow. So that definitely will be, I wouldn't say better. I mean, any ice is not an ideal scenario by no means, but I definitely think it's worse having the ice first and then snow. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate that. Amanda, no, this is not the official forecast. This is from the National Weather Service. Now I will say this: the forecast and the forecasted snow accumulation that we put up is probably going to be close to this. It's probably going to be close to this. Denise, we're not looking at temperatures to go above freezing, at least for a week. Nicholas, there's going to be more than likely some thunder, snow, thunder, sleet, thunder, freezing rain, probably somewhere in the state. I don't, I haven't really looked into it just yet. I'll be honest with you, Nicholas, but that's definitely a possibility this year with this storm. Ice accumulation, Allie. Yes, let me get that pulled up here. We'll throw up the ice amounts. We've had the snowfall totals up. These are the forecasted ice amounts. It's from the National Weather Service. We're going to put an ice accumulation map out as well from the ZMC team tonight as well. Jordan, Middle Tennessee is going to get a crippling ice storm. A crippling ice storm. Middle Tennessee is going to miss out on the snow. They're going to get a big time ice storm. Jeremy, yes, check your antifreeze in your vehicles if you can. I'm not a mechanic. And also your windshield wiper fluid. If you guys are out and you can get some windshield wiper fluid, you're going to be using that a lot if you're going to be out and about. Hey Ariel, if Coach says it, it's gospel. It's whatever Coach says is gospel in this household. Looking through the comments, see that there's gonna. I thought there was something else I needed to look at. Seeing a couple of people ask about next weekend snow. We're not going to get into next weekend snow at all. Just know there's a potential. Garrett, yes, there is a potential we go negative. Right now, the National Weather Service has us going negative for Monday night. That's temperature. If we get more snow, it's going to be temperatures will be lower than that. It's going to be a big deal. Cold weather is going to be a big problem. Wednesday and Friday, Sheila to Nashville probably be okay, being its main roads all the way there. Crystal, 57 days till spring and 153 days till summer. We officially, Crystal has the countdown for us. Josh is right. To be skiing the next time, we're going to alternate between soft drinks over here. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. No, Ariel, I am not like 40. Lower 30s. Thank you, Jessica. New to your live. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope to see you here more in the future for sure. Jalen said, let's build a big snowman in the roundabout. I'm sure there will be somebody that will put something in the middle of the roundabout. I feel like that's just the new thing in Greensburg. We need to put I'm sure the transportation department, sorry, I hit my mic here. I forgot it was right here in front of my face. I know the transportation department will probably build, some pretty shrubbery, flowers, etc., etc. I would love, right in the middle of it, prop it up and put a statue of a dragon. Would that not just be cool? I mean, you come into Greensburg, dragon right there, I just feel like a dragon holding a ski. I mean, what's more monumental than a dragon holding a ski coming into Greensburg? I mean, do we need to start a GoFundMe for that? Do we need to get the transportation department to approve that? I mean, I just think that'd be very, very unique. I'm trying to get caught up on the comments. There's so many comments. I appreciate all you guys. This is great. Brianna, we're getting a blizzard. End of story. No, I don't like energy drinks. Somebody said drinking a Lonnie Monster. I just not a big energy drink person. I'm just not. There's two Alani's right off the bat. Josh said Mountain Dew is worse. This is stuff I talked about 10 minutes ago. The comment section is dangerous. Got another question on timing, start time. Let me get that pulled up for you. Here's the start time. We'll leave this graphic up for a minute. We're expected the snow to start sometime between 7 to 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Yes, Sammy. Yes, when we do our snowfall map tonight, there will be an ice map as well. Landon Van Meter, my man. Who do I have winning the KSR Weatherman Challenge tomorrow? So if you guys haven't seen this, this is the most unique thing I've ever seen. So just gonna talk about this for a minute. We're kind of just in discussion mode right now. How many people's watching? I'm sure a lot of people's kind of fell off. We still have 500 people on. Oh, we still got plenty of people on here. We'll talk about it just for a second. So KSR, in the weather space, there's a lot of weather drama between some of the Lexington Mets, TV Mets, and the Louisville TV Mets. There is one in particular from Louisville, Mark Weinberg, that really gets into it with them. He don't really talk about it publicly, but he kind of sub talks about it. So KSR thought it'd be a great idea to basically have not really a debate, but they kind of wanted to set it up like what you would do on ESPN, like where you got four people just debating like a basketball game or a football game. They wanted it to be get the 10 meteorologists from the Louisville and Lexington markets. And, hey, we're going to put you guys up against each other. We don't want no ranges. We don't want 8 to 12 inches. We don't want scenarios. We want your forecast. You put your forecast in, at this time, and we're gonna see who's the closest. And they invited, I think, 10 or 11 people. Everybody accepted except Mark. Mark's invitation is still pending. He has not accepted it. Everybody else has accepted and put their forecast in. So that's what Landon's asking. Who do I think will win? If you guys want to look at it, go to KSR on Facebook or Twitter, and they'll have the graphic of all the meteorologists that is involved with it, and it's pretty cool actually. So there were several people that wrote me and actually nominated me to get in it, but it's mainly between the Louisville and Lexington markets. That's the main. That's where the drama and the rivalry is. It's kind of like a Kentucky-Louisville thing. You got the Lexington market and the Louisville market. I think Ryan Hall's in there as well. He's not really in any market, but Ryan Hall is based out of Kentucky. I don't know how many people know that. He's in Eastern Kentucky, so they got him in there too. So I'm very anxious to see how that plays out. But like I said, the biggest thing is Mark has not accepted his invite, so he's dodging the smoke right now. There are a lot of people that like Mark. I respect Mark too. He's dodging the smoke right now. You can't be scared. You got to attack. I've got a lot of problems, guys. All right, back to the comments section. I'm really going to scroll down. I'm way behind. I kind of want to get back to current comments. Mark with a C. Is Jim Cantore in it now? I knew they had reached out to Jim Cantore. So that's awesome. Donna, you're right. I am the Facebook forecaster he yaps about. I'm not going to get on here and bash anybody. That's not what this community is about. But Aaron, somebody on the KSR stuff, they actually did put an odds sheet out. I don't know how they made the odds on that, but I'm sure it's made up. Somebody put the odds on who would win. I'm glad to see Jim Cantore's in the challenge now. That is awesome. That is awesome. Brooklyn, do I think there is a chance the snow comes more south? I do think that's a possibility. I'm going to put the snow map back up so we can see that. Garrett said he bought a snowmobile in Russell County, and now he's scared he's not going to be able to use it. I mean, there's a chance Russell County could still get some decent snow. I don't know about snowmobile snow. Yes, back to the KSR challenge. The winner gets $10,000 to donate to the charity of their choice. So it actually goes toward a big, a good cause. Ron, what would my KSR entry be if I was entered? I would have to really look into the Louisville and Lexington market specifically. Because right now I'm kind of looking at a range. I would really have to do some research on it. And I haven't done that. But that's crazy. $10,000 to the charity of your choice to the winner. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to end the live stream tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we're going to be doing Twitter Spaces at 10 Eastern, at 9 Central. So in about 50 minutes, I'll post that on my page. You guys hop in and talk with us. Any information that comes through tonight that needs to be relayed, I'll obviously put that on my Facebook page. Use tomorrow to prepare for this major winter storm. Make sure you're ready for it, and make sure you are paying attention to the latest forecast, because there will definitely be some changes as we get more data in tonight and into tomorrow morning. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night, And again, make sure you are preparing for this storm tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.